So let's talk about Captain Marvel. I know I haven't reviewed a Marvel movie in a while, or even a live-action movie in a very long time, since I've mainly been focusing on animation, which that still is mainly the focus of my channel, but I kind of want to talk about other stuff too, so every so often I'll talk about other stuff. So Captain Marvel is an origin story movie, which is very late in the franchise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Captain Marvel is like one of the essential characters in the Marvel Universe, being Captain Marvel. They do change some things around from what I know. I don't know the comics really that well, but I watched the cartoon Avengers Mightiest Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and that's like Marvel is different, the Skrull are different, the Kree are different. So yeah, there's a bunch of things that are very different in this movie compared to like other interpretations of it. Carol Danvers as a character, I liked her enough. I see a lot of people calling her dull and boring, but I didn't really see that too much. I just think she's just sort of average, I guess. The movie starts out where she's on the Kree planet and they're at war with the Skrull and trying to find where they are. And the Skrull are shapeshifters so they can look like anybody, while retaining a bit of their memory for the short term. The stuff in the beginning out in space and on that planet is actually a bit boring. Once you get to Earth, though, it becomes a bit more exciting. The stuff in space just feels like a generic sci-fi movie that everybody forgot, while on Earth it starts feeling more like a Marvel movie. I'm not sure if it's because we see Nick Fury and we're familiar with him, so that way it becomes a lot more fun and feels a lot more like a Marvel movie. Or maybe it's because Samuel L. Jackson and Brie Larson's chemistry with each other are just a lot better than the rest of the movie. This movie takes place in the 90s, so Samuel L. Jackson is his younger self, and the de-aging technology that Disney has is pretty amazing. There's not really any, glaring flaw I could tell in his face. And with it being in the 90s, there's a lot of references to 90s stuff, some of it being a bit much, but then other stuff like the technology, that can be pretty funny. The other characters I didn't feel were too memorable, other than Goose the cat. That cat has some pretty great scenes, and I know a lot of people are going to love him. There is the message of women empowerment and letting go of the shackles of people keeping you down and whatever, but there's a certain moments where it's really on the nose. Like, there's a fight sequence where they play the song Just a Girl by No Doubt, and I like Tragic Kingdom as much as the next person, but that's a bit much. There are a few other moments in this movie that are like that where it's not very subtle. I just wish those parts were a little better written, because I know that people that are going to hate this movie going in because of what it represents are going to pick those out and say it's a bad movie because of that, which I don't think it's a bad movie. I actually think it's pretty good, and I saw it with my dad and he liked it too. The whole controversy surrounding this movie is similar to what we had with Black Panther last year, and both of those things are pretty dumb, I think. Like, just watch your Marvel movies. It's just a movie. I only started going to the theater for each one back in 2014 when I started doing videos on this channel, and I've enjoyed mostly all of them. I'm not sure if I'm going to enjoy stuff as much after Endgame happens, but I still enjoyed Captain Marvel for what it was. Even though I do feel there are parts that feel a bit rushed and maybe a bit forced. I think if they had another year to develop it, they could have made something even greater. But since they've been moving along so quickly with these Marvel movies, they kinda have to put out what they can. But like I said, I enjoyed it. So if you have seen Captain Marvel, tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better